Yeah.
So I'm sharing
Yeah,
my
sure.
screen and let us get started with trade agreements. So speaking of trade agreements, first I'd like to tell you I've never seen a single customer who's not making the use of trade agreements. Almost every customer is going to make use of trade agreements, and that too in huge numbers. Like I always see them updating trade agreements, making trade agreements, and so making new prices and all. So first I'll show you why do we need these. So you can, for trade agreements, you can go to procurement and sales sourcing, and in the prices and discounts, so you can have the trade agreement generals here. Also in the sales and marketing, and prices and discount and trade agreement generals. So first I'll click on trade agreement generals. So basically here what we are doing is we are posting a general which is having lines which are having prices, and then once they are posted, then those prices gets activated, and whenever for that particular customer, if you are trying to add a line of that specific item, so that price will then be copied from that particular trade agreement. For example, if I've posted, let me say, item 1, and I've posted a price of $20 for that item, a sales price of $20, and the price on the item card is 25. So it will not pick up the 25, but it will pick up the $20 instead. So trade agreements will get a priority over the default item prices. And one more important thing to note is purchase agreements and sales agreements will get priority over trade agreements. So this is the hierarchy. First, the system will try to search if there are existing purchase agreements or sales agreements, so it will take the values from there, and then it will ignore the trade agreements. If no such agreements are specified for that particular scenario that you are trying to add, the customer or item scenario, so now it will look at the trade agreements. If there are any trade agreements posted, then the pricing will be picked up from trade agreements. And then if the system cannot find that, then only the prices will be picked from the default prices on the item card. Okay, so this is one thing to make note of. So here is how we post the trade agreement general. So we can have posted, this will show you the ones that are not posted. Posted means these are all that we have posted, and all will show you posted as well as the not posted. So I'll first show you how to create a trade agreement general. So here we have a few trade agreement general names. So creating general names is extremely simple. If your system doesn't have one, so you can just click on view details, and now here you can click on your name, whatever, click on new and then specify. So let me say new sales. So this is a type of general. So general type is needed so that we can then later make use of this one. So new sales general, we can copy this in the description, and here is what type it is. So we can have price purchase means you are going to define the purchase prices of items. Line discount purchase means in this type you are not going to define the prices, but instead you are going to define the line discounts only. For example, whatever the price of item may be, if I specify a discount of 10%, then that line amount will be added, unit price will be added, and a discount of 10% will be made. Multi-line discount is a new concept for you guys, but if you relate it to business, it's very much in use, but I haven't seen most of the customers making use of it. I'll provide you a separate blog which is super detailed of how to apply the multi-line discounts. In short, for now, you can just imagine there can be two or three lines which might be fulfilling one discount criteria. Let me say I created an account as such, I created a rule as such. If I'm going to buy 10 soft drinks quantity from at least 10 soft drinks, then I'll get a discount of 2%. So those soft drinks can be Fanta, Coke, Pepsi, whatever. So if I create three lines and the combination of quantities of those three lines comes out to be 10 or greater than 10, then I can apply the multi-line discount. So multi-line discount, as the name suggests, will take into account of all these three lines and will try to verify whether all these three lines are setting are are they satisfying a criteria? If yes, then a discount will be applied. So some tweaks and some small setups need to be done. The discount generals need to be posted in a different manner. So I'll give you a specific blog. The location of that I'll mail it to you. It is very much detailed. It's like you really face any kind of issues, after going through. But line discounts are like the ones which are most commonly used, like 99.9% of the time. Total discount, I haven't seen anyone using that, because either they'll use the total discount or the line discount. Line discount is most predominantly used. Total discount means you are not talking about a specific line or a group of lines. It's like you are applying it onto the whole of order. Let me say the sales order, the total invoice price is $500. A discount of 10% means 10% on $500. So that is another thing. Okay, so is the concept of line discount, multi-line discount, and total discount in theory clear to you? What I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so but anyway, you will be using the line discount. I haven't seen anyone else using in my past 4 or 5 years. It's the line discount which is always used, because think it about like a business. You are going to specify the discount on the item, and that is the most important thing. So once you specify the discount on item, then only those discounts are taken into consideration. And if you've already specified that amount or the discount on item, then you are not going to specify it again on the sales order or for the individual set of lines. So line discount is the most commonly used, and we'll be navigating through various steps how to do that. So price purchase. Similarly, we have price sales, which means we are going to specify the price of the item, and this price is for the sales process. Line discount sales means please specify the line discount, and that too that will take effect if you are creating a sales order, not the purchase order, because it is of type sales. So once we do that, also these are pretty much like we are only defaulting. And right now, let me say I'm going to click on price sales, and I click on save. So this is one general that we've created. So now what I need to do is let me create some new items on which let me make sure it doesn't have a lot of transactions. We've already done a lot of transactions here. So I'll go to the product information management, release product. Let me see if we have existing trade agreements. So for this item, so for that we need to select our item, and we can see in the cell tab, we can see view trade agreements. Are there any trade agreements posted? There are quite a few posted. We have something called price sales. So yeah, so we can make it for another customer. But for now, let me just create a new product so that you can get a better idea and not be confused with transactions. So let me make it uh, tablet. So I'll create this item. Mhm. Let me select a random item model group. This is all the default data. Really do not need to worry about that. Tracking dimension. Let me say storage. Let me say it's site and warehouse. Tracking dimension. Let me say it doesn't have any serial number or batch number as such. Let me specify a sales price of say 250, a purchase price of 150. Click on OK. So this item is now created. And if we have a look at the sell and view trade agreements, so we can now see that it has only one trade agreement, and you'll notice why this one trade agreement is still linked to it. See trade agreement generals, and now I'll select. So what I did is I want to post a trade agreement of type sales price now. So basically, I want to specify the sales price for some specific item numbers. So I'll click on price and discount and trade agreement generals. So this will bring me to this form. I want to post a new. So I'll click on new sales. This is the one that we created. And as you can see, if I select this one, why is it not selecting? The price of sales will auto default here. Anyway, we can change it here also. And if we navigate to the lines, we can change this default relation there also. So not an issue. You can anyway, you can again create any type you want. So this is like for a defaulting purpose. And now this will make clear to you why do we need trade agreements. So the first and foremost, the most important thing in a sales and purchase agreement is that they are an extreme commitment to only one party. If you are making a purchase agreement, they are a commitment to only one vendor. Similarly, sales agreement are a commitment to only one customer. So there can be other scenarios also. For example, I'll give you a very real life scenario. Suppose there is the Thanksgiving holiday and a lot of sale is going to happen. So the shopkeeper or the owner decides that for a set of, let me say, 12 items, 12 items which are usually sold. So now just lower their prices by, let us say, $10 each from specific dates. Let me say from the 2 weeks before Thanksgiving to 1 week after Thanksgiving, and that too for a list of customers. Okay, let me say I have 7 customers, so let's make it a group for them, and for these customers, so these prices for those specific items between those date ranges should be modified. Now you cannot make any sales agreement for this scenario. It will anyway not work. First and foremost, you have multiple customers, it's not going to work. And what if it is not for a single item, but for a multiple item? Or let us say the shop is very simple for all the items. So such cases, such scenarios will not be taken care, using purchase agreements and sales agreement. Therefore, we need trade agreements. So for a typical scenario, let me say, so do you want it for all customers? No, I want it for one single customer. You can click on table. If you want for a group of customers, group. If you want for all customers, all. This first condition itself is not satisfied by any purchase or sales agreements because they are specific only to one particular customer or vendor. So this is the reason for this flexibility, and this is always a scenario. So usually we are creating purchase agreements and sales agreements when we have like the contract is usually like it's big and it's a long term contract, and usually the changes are not going to happen over a period of time for that contract, because anyway you made it specific that you are going to buy those quantities or that much value of the product. But for constantly fluctuating prices and constantly if you want to edit the various pricing, suppose in case of holiday or in case of Christmas, in case of Diwali in India, so these scenarios will be taken care only using the trade agreements. So right now if I want it for a group of customers, I can select the group. If I want it for all customers, I'll select all. So this is the reason it is still showing a line discount, because some agreement was posted that for a particular that for give a line discount of 10 for all the items. So what it did is for all the items. So even when we created a new item, the line discount sales was automatically applied, but it will be applied only to a specific customer. So if we try to create it for any other customer, it will not work. But this agreement, this will be activated if we create a sales order for customer test too. So this is the reason, even if we created a new, because the sales agreement was posted of type all. So right now, let me say for all customers, I want it. So as you click on all, this will become blank. If you select for a specific customer, you can select. You can say that we can also make purchase agreements and sales agreements, exact replica of purchase agreements and sales agreements using trade agreements. But the other way is not possible. So if you want it for a specific customer, you can click on customer. Let me select all. So now it will work. Now this line is supposed to go for all the customers. So do you want it for a single item, for all items? If I select all items, then it will be applicable for all items, all the current, present, or if you create anyone new. But let me say I want it for only this item that we created. So the item that we created is here. Now let me say I want it. So you can also have various pricings depending on various sites and warehouses. If you want something for warehouse 12, you can have another line. If you want for warehouse 11, you can have another line. So you can, the prices can also differ using these, parameters. Also, the most common business scenario. Well, I want from, let me say if the customer is buying up to 10 pieces, let me say, all right, so we'll give you let me say $240 each. So the currency, I think I haven't specified currency on the customer or on the item. And maybe let us make it USD. So this is one scenario, but if I want that the customer should be able to get a little bit more fair price, if the customer is buying from 0 to 10 to 50 pieces, let me create another. So the same thing, the same item, and let me say if the customer is buying uh, from 10 to 50 pieces, I'll give them some more, a more favorable pricing. Let me say $230. If the customer is really like, if he really wants to buy some good amount, so let me say if the customer is buying more than 50, we'll give them some better prices, even better. Let me say 50 to, uh, let us make it unlimited. Let me tell, okay, we'll give you for $210. So these types of scenarios are very much common in real life business and cannot be handled with simple purchase or sales agreements. So you can have ranges, and not only this, you can have the same line 0 to 10, 0 to 10, 0 to 10, and different prices using different date range in case of holidays and in case of carnival times. So you can have these. So if you specify that from 27, the 27 to the, let me say, for the next till 11, so only within these date ranges this line will be valid. So once this line crosses this date range and you are making a sales order, then this line gets neglected. It's ignored. Then if there is any purchase or sales agreement, so that will anyway, the price will come from there, and then the price will come from the item card, and this line will become inactive. So basically, you don't need from and to. You can have same from and to and same everything and different prices using different set of dates. You can have same set of dates using different set of quantities. You can have same set of dates, same set of quantities using different sites and warehouses. So now can you imagine why do we need trade agreements, Nelson and Krishna? Are you able to grasp the flexibility of trade agreements?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, I working on this already. So
Yes,
yes, I
exactly.
yeah. I'm
understand.
curious of how it works in a sales order.
How it works on sales order? Yeah, yeah. We'll definitely create sales order, and we'll see how this thing is, taking it into action. So, but these fields they should be clear to you. Like from and to means you can specify the quantities. Then this is specification of the prices. And right now, I'm not making any kind of division using dates. You can have different sites and warehouses. Basically, you need at least one thing different. Same site, same warehouse, same quantity, no issue. Let's make date different. So that
So
you
we
know you
have to give an two compulsory, like if it says about 20,000. So if I give a blank, it will automatically take that nine. Uh, is that or
which
anything?
blank, which blank?
If I if my last scenario is like
Mm-hmm.
uh, for about 20,000 items, this is the price.
Okay.
So so I'll give from 20,000. But
Yes.
two, I don't have. If I don't give anything, will system default to that, or
See,
you have to specify?
by default, you whenever you create a purchase order line or a sales order line, the quantity one gets there. I think it is one, so it will by default take this price. Then as soon as you added the quantity, okay, we are buying 11 pieces. It will at that time instantly it will convert the unit price to the this price.
No, no, no. I'm saying the setup. The setting up of this one, when you
Mm-hmm.
have set it up to 50,000, 50 items to all the nine,
Okay. Yes. Yes.
probably 99 lakhs something.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, so if I give a blank there, because
Yeah.
my
No issue.
scenario,
It will still work. It will still work.
okay.
Yes, if you click on 50, so this is the main thing that is taken into consideration. Just try it once. I think I've already tried it. If you give this one 50, so this is again a valid condition. 0 to 10,
Okay.
it will find this line, 10 to 50, and then 50 from means minimum is 50, maximum can be
It
anything.
can be anything. Yeah, that's what I have a
So
scenario like 20,000 and above. So I was
yes,
just
so
remembering.
if you want anything above 50, then I think this is the best way to do it. So I just, just made it there. So if you have like a specific limit, for example, you really cannot sell more than 20,000 or anything as such. So maybe it's a very special case. But anyway, if you wanted 50 and above, then this is more important from.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
will give you the starting point. So now 50, now it will go to 50 to above, infinity, whatever the system is capable of taking the, value of quantity. So this will give you $210 in this way. The working days, if you click on working days, so if you are specifying the date ranges and all, so working days will mean the system has an inbuilt calendar. So if Saturday, Sundays are closed, then it will not consider Saturday, Sundays within these. So this is like working days, and so yeah, so you can specify all sort of things here. So right now we are going to only see how the how the pricing is showing on the sales order. So once I do that, so I've taken it for every customer, but for a specific item. So I'll click on post now. So once I click on post, so the trade agreements becomes active, and let me create a sales order now. So accounts receivable, let me create a sales order from here. Orders, sales orders. So once this becomes active, so you can see it in the posted. If you filter down to the posted, you will be able to see it. So okay, I'll create. So now I'm going to create it for any random customer because we selected all customers. So let me select any customer. Okay, let me select this. I hope all the setups are done in this. So let me select a site and warehouse and I click on OK. And let me specify the item. Once the item is specified and the default quantity of one is there, you'll notice a unit price of 240. Although the sales unit price was $250 on the item, right? We specified 250, but it's picking up from the trade agreements now because trade agreements will get a higher priority than the default prices mentioned on the item card. So this is how the pricing will take place. If I make it 10, it's $230 because it crossed the limit, 10 to 50. So it is $230 now. If I make it 9, it's 240. If I make it 50 and above, it's $210. So you can see how the unit price is constantly changing.
Yes.
So this is of type sales, the sales price. We are defining the sales price. We can have other trade agreements also. Let me say, I can create another trade agreement, and in this, we are going to define. I don't know why this pop-up keeps coming again and again. Need to clear this. Let me try to remove this one. So if I select my general, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify the discounts. So in this, so you can either have a separate dedicated tab for discount, but anyway, we can always make changes. Let me say now I'm going to create a discount, and for a specific customer, I want it for a specific customer only. Let me select our customer. We'll select this customer, and for a specific item only. And let me say, for all the sites and warehouses, I really don't care for which sites and warehouses. Let me say from any quantity to any quantity, I'm going to specify. So it was line discount sales. Okay. So here now this amount, if I specify 10, so this is going to give us it is going to deduct the unit 10 units from the unit price, because right now this is not the sales price, this is the line discount sales. And this will take care of all the scenarios in Dynamics AX. We have all the possible scenarios for line discounts. For example, usually either the company is saying, okay, so we have a product and we'll give it a discount of these amount of dollars. Then this is the thing that you need to do. Just specify the discount on that particular item for a particular or a list of items or a list of customers. This will take care of it. You can click on post. But if you have a scenario where like not discount is not specified, but discount percentage is specified, then you don't need to do anything here. Just specify a discount percent of, if they are saying discount percent of 12, then a discount percent, sorry, a 12 is specified. So this is second scenario. The third scenario can be, see, we'll first give you a discount of $15 on the item. And once that discount is given $15 on the item, let me say $100 per item was there, discount of 15%, $85. And then we'll give you a discount of 12 percentage on the 85. So now 85 minus 12% of 85 will be the new unit price. So this can be the third scenario. There can be another scenario where the customers are usually marking the prices very high, and then they are, trying to get customers by giving them, see, we have discounts and like discount over discount. So that scenario. So if I specify, let me say 15% here. Usually this is less. Let me specify 5% here. So now what will happen is, first a discount of 15% will be applied. Then a new unit price will be calculated. A discount of 12% will be specified. Then a unit price will be calculated, and on that a discount of 5% will be applied. So these are all the possible scenarios of discounts which the company claims. So is this process clear to you, how the amount in currency, discount percentage 1 and discount percentage 2 are working?
Yeah.
Nelson and Krishna. See, this is also
Yeah.
it is showing in the help text. A discount percentage 1 can be combined with a discount percentage of 2, and this way. So what I'll do is, I'll, let me say, a discount of $10, and I'm going to, once a discount of $10, and then I'm going to specify a discount percentage of 12. And if I click on post, so now the discounts will be activated for this particular item. So now we see that we have activated discounts in one general, and we activated price in another general. So now both of these things will become simultaneously active. So not an issue with that. It's totally fine. It will take the discount from one, and so this is for some random customer. So here, so if you remember, we specified discount for our customer only. So here only the price will be taken and not the discount. So let me select the item. So once once I select the item, let me make it a quantity of 10. It'll give us the discount, the dollars, $230. As you can see, no discount and discount percentage is taken into action. Why? Because the pricing was for all customers, but the discount was for only our customer. So in
Yes.
this way, everything will work accordingly. You just have to follow the simple rules. Discount was for everyone. So the pricing was for everyone and discount for only for us. So now we'll create a sales order, I think, for our customer, and we'll see. Okay, now we'll try to add the same line item, one quantity. Let me say what is it showing in one quantity. Now, can you see for one quantity, the unit price it took from the first trade agreement posted to $40. Then it added a discount of $10. And then on that $10, it gave us a 12% discount, because of which the unit price converts to $202
Yeah.
40 cents. So what I'll do is now I'll make this quantity as 10. So now the unit price will be 230, but the discounts will remain same. So right now the two trade agreements are right now, they are both of these trade agreements are they are active now, because of which we are getting this final price for quantity 10. So I hope by now you know how we apply the trade agreements, how we apply the discounts. The price sales and price purchase are exactly same. They'll work for purchase order and these are working for sales order. Line discounts are very much important. You should know how to process various scenarios, how to know how to add all these scenarios. So Nelson and Krishna, are you like uh, did you get a feel of the trade agreements, how they are posted and how they work?
Yep.
Yes.
Can you
Okay.
click down in the price and discounts tab?
Yes, sure. So you
Okay.
can see a discount of 10 and a
Okay.
discount
Okay.
percentage of 12. So
Mm-hmm.
this is how
Wonderful.
these things,
Thank you.
okay, yeah. So this is how like we can have these. So a lot of things are there. You can have good amount of scenarios, and we can see there is no attached sales agreement. No attached sales agreement is there right now because it's coming from the trade agreements. Okay, so this is how the things are taken. And also, if you navigate to the item number, you can anyway look what are the active trade agreements for a particular item. So if you navigate to the sell tab, and you can have a look at the active trade agreements for this. So this was some from previously posted. This is what we posted right now. It's giving us the discount percentage of 10 or discount of 10 for all these things. And this is the one. uh, so these are the lines from the first trade agreement. Okay, so 0 to 10, 10 to 50. So you can always have a look at the item card and see what trade agreements are posted for that particular item. You can click on edit selected lines. If you want to change the prices, what will you do? Basically, you are not able to change the trade agreement because trade agreement is anyway already posted. But if you click on edit lines, then you can just select a general. So it will do one thing. Let me say I want the sales prices description, any random description if you want. It's not necessary. If you click on OK, so basically it is going to copy the trade agreement records into a new one, and you specify the new prices, and the new ones will become activated. The old ones will get deactivated. So I clicked the line, and it copied the that one. So I clicked that line and that line was copied. So I can click on edit, I can make changes, I can, write any kind of changes that I want here, and I can click on posts. So basically this is not editing the old general lines, they are posted. Basically we are posting a new general line with that same scenario. So the old one will get deactivated, the new one will get activated. Okay, so is this process clear how you can modify the prices? You basically have to post
Yes.
a new trade agreement. That is it.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. And also, a type of homework will be for you is if you want to create one more thing. We did it for a specific customer, for all customers, but what about the groups? Let me show you. Whenever we'll be talking about the customer groups, so let me say if I want to have a price sales type and I want to specify a group. So do you know what this is? This you know for a specific customer, this you know for all customers, but for a group, if you try to select a group, then here we have to first define these groups. These are not customer groups, remember. Customer groups was the customer classification. These are the price and discount groups. So basically, you first specify the price and discount groups. You create a new group. Let me say, I created a group. Let me say, group named new group. So I created this group. It's of type price group. Save. And now, on behalf of this group, so I'm not creating it for a customer. I'm not creating it for all customers, but I want this pricing to be limited for only a group of customers. A new group, and I'm not going to select it for a particular item or all. I'm going to select it for a group of items. And remember, this is again a price or discount group. It is not the item group. Item group is totally different. It has all the postings of GL. So if you navigate down, so you can see no price groups are defined yet. So we can create a new price group. Let me say uh, item. No, let me give it some new price group one. I'll click on save and I'll select. So right now we are going to specify a type of price sales, okay, for a specific group of customers and specific group of items. But we haven't defined those group of customers or items yet, but we have created the groups. How this will work is, let me say for all the warehouses, for uh, any quantity you want, let me say for quantity dollars of let me say $456 from quantity 0 to 10, let me say unit EA. So once you click on save, illegal combination of relation and item code, relation and item code, let me navigate it. I think there is some issue here. New group for all customers, illegal combination. If something goes wrong, then it will definitely throw an error. Relation and item code, item relation. Let me make it table. Is it working now? Okay, so it's not taking the item code along with this one. Let me make it for the group and let me make the item group and let me make it for all illegal combination. Hmm. Why is it throwing this error table? Some issue seems to be here. Illegal combination relation of illegal combination of relation of item code. What is wrong with item code? Anyway, what we'll do is for now, let me we anyway have to demo. I'll look into this and will let you know. This should not come anyway. So let me make it for a group of customers, but for a specific item. Okay, I just wanted to demonstrate how the group thing is taken care of. So group, and let me make new group. I think this is working now. Maybe this combination is not possible. A group of customers, but this seems to be a valid business scenario. Anyway, I'll look into it and will let you know, guys. But right now, see, I just wanted to demonstrate how you can specify the groups. So okay, so let us do it for one item, but for a group of customers. Similarly, you can do for a group of items also. I know I've done this before, but for now, let us click on post. So now this is going to take this pricing, but then which customer will take it? So for that, if you navigate to the customer, so basically you have to do some setups on customers, vendors, and items whenever you are working with groups. So we created a group for customer, we created a group for item. So now let me navigate to the customer. So right now, if even if you try with any customer, you will not get that pricing because customers, see, we've posted a trade agreement and we said there is a customer group, and for that particular customer group do this pricing, but we haven't linked any of our customers to those groups yet. So now the process will be linking the customers to groups. So let me see the name. So what I'll do is now I have to link this customer so that I can make use of that trade agreement. So if you are working with groups, so in the sales order defaults, I think we'll find it. This is something else. Commission group, sales group, price groups. Sit here. Okay. So do you see we have this new group right now?
Yeah.
So this is how we will tag this customer. Now this customer falls into the new group. Similarly, if you want to specify the line discounts for a group of customers, you will have to tag the line discount group to a particular customer. So this is how now I have one customer tagged with the new group. So now if you try to make a trade agreement for this particular customer, it will take the pricing from there. Now you can have multiple customers and assign the same groups. So now the trade agreement for this particular group is already posted, and the second step is we have defined multiple customers for this group. So now the linking will happen without any issue. So this is how, I mean, this is the mandatory step that you have to do in case you are posting using the trade agreements and using the making use of groups. Similarly, we have for the item also, and I just don't know why this is not taking for the item. We can specify such type of groups on the item also. So these are the discount groups, basically the price discount groups, line discount groups, and all of these like things are taken care in this way. So this is how we specify the groups, and now we can move on to the trade agreements. And only if this is the one which is satisfying the criteria, then it will give us the pricing from there. Otherwise, I think we have strictly specified for this customer. So now you can create and see for yourself. So if you, but I'll request you that if you want to try this one, make sure it's a separate trade agreement because we've already posted trade agreement for this. So someone else can take priority from there. So let us see which pricing it is going to take. So a little bit of complication is there for groups because you have to specify the groups, and you should not be confused about discount groups and the customer groups. Discount groups are totally different. Customer groups are are an important integral part of customer setup. Any idea what pricing will come?
From the grouping that we set up.
Let us see if it is going to come from group. It's still coming from, as I told you, because we have explicitly specified it for a specific customer, and that too is
Okay.
coming from 240 to 50. So if you want to experiment it, because this is how the priorities will take place. When you have individually specified it for strictly for one, so that will take priority more than the group.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you try to do this experiment, make sure to create a separate item, a list of a separate item and a separate customer, then assign that. So then that pricing will take that pricing will become activated. So right now it is not picking up from the new group, and you might be confused why, because you already have trade agreements, specifically trade agreement lines specifically for this particular customer. So
Mm.
that is now taking priority over the group. Okay, so this is how, and I just don't know why I was facing this error. Usually this error doesn't come. You can specify the item groups also, but not an issue. Just try it for yourself and let me know. So I think this will now, I've completed almost all the possible scenarios that you will be handling in real life implementations about the trade agreements. And as you can see, that trade agreements are really a very important integral part of any ERP system. We definitely need them, and we will definitely make use of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So Nelson and Krishna, so I hope by now the trade agreements and how they work, I think these things are clear to you. They might
Yeah.
be something new, but I think you get an idea of why we need those and how to implement those trade agreements, how to edit those, and how to use various combinations for various purpose. Nelson, any kind of doubts? Krishna, any doubts?
No.
No.
Okay, so I'll upload this session, and I think now then we'll say okay. So tomorrow, yeah, so we have the class after on my Wednesday, and which is your Tuesday.
Just yeah.
So
Tuesday.
all right. So meanwhile, just go through these demos and just try to configure the trade agreements. Remember,
Yeah.
every customer is going to ask you doubts about these, and then they'll say, oh, I created and posted this one and really don't know why this pricing is not coming. Could you help me out here? So you
Yeah.
should know how to deal with the trade agreements. A lot of questions, a lot of doubts will be asked from this, especially whenever you are implementing it into a new implementation is there, or yeah, there are always doubts in this in this module.
Yeah.
You have to explain to customers, see, this is how the preferences are taking place and this is how you have to edit it, because they will anyway end up posting wrong trade agreement. So you have to tell them, okay, you can go and post a new, and new prices will become active. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I guess, guys, I'll see you in the next session, and
Yeah.
we can wrap this up. Okay, and if you have any kind of doubts and anything as such, we'll pick it up in the next session. All right.
Yeah. Sure. Definitely.
Thank you, Vipin.
Thank.
Okay, thank you, Krishna and Nelson. I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Okay.